For you know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for your sake he became poor, so that you, by his poverty, might become rich. This is a wild argument. Consider this as an explanation for your behavior. You should be generous. Why? Because Jesus died. You should show your love to be genuine. Why? Because Jesus died. Let's note what Paul is not saying. He's not saying Jesus gives away his very life, so you should be willing to give me all of your stuff. That's not what Paul is asking the Corinthians. It's not what he's asking us. Look at verse 13 in our text. He says, I do not mean that others should be eased and you burdened, right? But that's exactly what happens in Jesus' death. He is burdened and we are eased. That's how that worked, right? So Jesus' kind of giving is not the kind of giving that Paul wants from the Corinthians. Paul is asking for something far less radical. We're not being called to die that others might live, even economically. Look at the rhetorical gentleness of what Paul is asking for us here, right? Excel in this act of grace, it says, verse 7, not as a command, verse 8, because you desire to, verse 10, out of what you have, verse 11. Your abundance should supply their need, verse 14. There are so many qualifiers here. He's simply not asking us to give in the painful way that Jesus does. Why? Because it's impossible for us to. Think about how Jesus gives. He gives extravagantly. Thou who wast rich beyond all splendor, all for love's sake, becamest poor, like we sang this morning. He gives up, Jesus gives up the very treasures of heaven, that's when he was rich, to come and dwell with us and die. And as Flannery O'Connor says, you can't get no poorer than dead. And because of that poverty that Jesus voluntarily takes on, we get his riches. We get peace with God and entrance into heaven. And you don't get that on any other terms but his.